We're part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
What up? This town might be red, but it's all Kelly Green this week.
Oh, man. Kelly Green can't come soon enough. What's up, boys?
Listen, not after the dumb shit that we had to fucking watch on Sunday. God damn.
Well, what a definition of a trap game.
That was just terrible.
I think I would have rather listened to 4 hours of trap music.
I love trap music, so I do that on the daily.
Oh, God. Well, listen.
I wasn't left off.
Episode 150. Listen, we're drunk on the Birds tonight, but I feel like the Birds were drunk going up to the Meadowlands on Sunday.
Brian Johnson definitely was hitting too much of the hard stuff the night before because his fucking game plan was terrible.
No, and especially, all right, like you start the game with a 19-play, 9-minute and 40-second drive that ends in a touchdown. Listen, I saw that and I was like,
Yeah,
we're good. Here
Yeah.
we go. Like we're gonna be able to kind of roll through and just kind of play this game of like hold the clock as long as we can, run the ball, run these short plays. And then it just kind of that shit just fucking evaporated. That it I feel like after the first quarter, it never really materialized into anything.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrible. It was just not good football. It was not fun to watch. It was fucking look at Derek Barnett on the one block where he just get pancaked and the Jets player points and laughs at him. That's how I felt the whole game. I felt like Derek Barnett. I felt like they were just pointing and laughing at me. What's up, Adam? I don't understand the play calling. I don't understand pretty much any of it. Like, we shouldn't have lost that game. How you just abandoned the run against the second-ranked worst run defense.
Yeah.
Granted, I know Sauce and Reed were out, but who gives a fuck? Like, run the football. It's your bread and butter. You're the number one rushing offense. You don't run, and then you back it up saying, well, some of the short passes were our runs. No, they're not, because you're throwing the ball to DeAndre Swift, and then he's got to turn and decide which way he wants to go. Give him the goddamn ball and run it. It was absolutely abysmal. And then everybody's jumping on, Jalen made mistakes. Yeah, he made mistakes because that fucking play calling was terrible.
Yeah, in the middle of, I can't remember when that Lane Johnson injury happens, right? But he goes out and Jack Driscoll comes in and looks like a turnstile, right? But you would think, right? How do I put Jack Driscoll in the best position possible?
You put him
run the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Well, if he has to play.
You play down a lineman. My bad.
Right.
Drop
told
back.
Jordan
We should have
Mailata to
an
play both
excuse.
sides.
We decided to do a new thing of football and not use another lineman.
Oh my God. But listen, like in my mind, I'm going, all right, well, they focus on the run, right?
Yeah.
Just put him in a position where he doesn't have to, block. And what do? Jalen Hurts drops back 45 times. And I think they ran the ball under 20 times. Like
I think it was more than 45 times, Don. I think it was more than 45 times.
Jalen Hurts, he had 45 pass attempts.
Okay.
Yeah. They had Swift only had 10 carries for 18 yards. But they could have schemed it better. They could have run it, away from Driscoll's side. There could have been more thought into it. You give them some help. You get somebody to chip, or you do some trap, or you do some pull. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to throw the ball that much with your best offensive lineman out of the game and not giving this guy help who's looking like total dog shit. And then let's just continue to throw and throw and throw and throw. And then, Jalen threw 3 picks. The first 2 really weren't his fault. But he shouldn't have been in those situations. You had to establish the run, and they failed to do that.
Yeah. Listen, I like Rich. So DeAndre Swift has 10. Jalen Hurts rushes for 8. Now, some of those are quarterbacks, and not some of those are designed runs, but most of the 8, and I'd have to go back and look, but most of those 8 are probably places where he drops back and scrambles and evades the pocket, which he did a beautiful job at that. He looked like he was draped in Vaseline the entire game, but the decision making, like especially on some of those like the one interception, right, hits off Goddard, it bounces. That's a freak play that you can't necessarily blame on him. He gets the blame because it's an interception, but you have 22 rush attempts for a team that when they know that they can rush the ball, they put the game out of reach. Like I really, really didn't make any sense. And here's the most frustrating thing is that as shitty as that gameplay was, as shitty as the game plan was, as shitty as they played, with 4 minutes to go in the game, they were still winning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I don't get it. I don't get going away from your best player in the biggest moments. Because AJ Brown is 6 games in and he's almost pushing 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like Devontae Smith has the one play over the middle in the third quarter that there wasn't somebody within 30 yards of him, and he drops it right. That those plays changed the whole trajectory of the game.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the way Hurts played. Did he play a perfect game? Absolutely not. But let's be real. The Dallas Goddard interception, fumble, whatever the fuck that thing was, there's one. DeAndre Swift, fumble, 2 turnovers. How many points did they get off turnovers?
I think 3.
3. 3 points.
The defense
still in
played
this game.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. They were awesome.
And
the Hassan Reddick
yeah,
sack, right? When they go on third down and they push them to what? It was like a 16-yard loss. Like
yeah,
it's just the play calling was abysmal, man. Like the play calling sucked. And I believe who said it? Who was talking on the Jacob thing? Eagles player.
Seth Joyner.
Seth Joyner was saying it.
Yeah.
And Seth was like, well, yeah, man, maybe it falls on the coaching. Well, it definitely does, because you do not know how to scheme these guys open. Like Jalen Hurts is making some really good passes in some really tight windows.
Mm-hmm.
Scheme these guys open. Get your playmakers the ball. Run the fucking football. Set up play action. Do something different instead of throwing the ball 10 fucking times. Short passes are not part of the run game.
Mm-hmm.
easiest way to block, especially if you have Driscoll being a fucking turnstile.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. Like, it's just fucking stupid, dude. Like, I was watching this whole fucking thing go down, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me on, like, how fucking terrible that this play calling was. And, yeah, the defense bailed you out multiple times.
All game.
All game. But at the same time, I have no idea what the fuck they're doing half the time. And talent is really excelling and outplaying the coaching. And that's a problem because you can't do that against good teams. Guess what's going to happen this week? Mike McDaniel is going to fucking scheme Tyreek Hill open. He's going to scheme him open. They're going to have the running game going because it's a fucking scheme. They know how to do it. He knows how to get his best playmakers open. So my main fucking issue is, when are you going to learn and scheme the same fucking players over? We may not have the speed, but we have big guys. We have strong guys. We have skinny guys who can fly. When are we going to start scheming some of these guys open? When are we going to make the adjustments in the run game to help this offensive line if they're not playing like congruently? I don't see that from Brian Johnson. I'm not impressed at all. And it's week 7 of how I am not impressed by his play calling whatsoever. And Nick's not good at calling plays either. I don't want Nick calling plays.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking problem. Brian Johnson's a fucking problem. And I do not like him as our offensive coordinator. I really don't.
There's just way too much talent. There's way too much talent for you to waste with a shitty fucking game plan. Like you had to go into that game knowing that their biggest weakness is in the run game. So, and one of your biggest strengths is in the run game. So just run the fucking ball. Like, that's not fucking rocket science. Like, you can do that. And and we've heard it in the post-game press conferences, right? The goal is to win the game.
Yeah.
But then if the goal is to win the game and you know that they're not great at defending the run, why do you have almost 50 pass attempts? Right? Because he makes 45 pass attempts, right? But he dropped back a whole lot more than that because he's got the plays that break down and he runs. Like, why is the ratio 50-20? Like, it shouldn't. It's not. It just nothing fucking makes sense. That balance, and the way that DeAndre Swift's running the ball, like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's just
it's so vanilla. There's no bring a guy in motion or try to throw some kind of diversion at the defense. It's just like where's the hurry up offense? When's the last time this team ran the hurry up offense? Let's hurry up. Let's get the ball hyped. Let's get the play going. Let's get something rolling. There hasn't been. They've been so inconsistent in pretty much all of these games. Like, you don't feel like there's a flow. You don't feel like they're in sync.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell. You could see it. You could see it on Jalen's face.
Yeah.
You could see it on Jalen's face during the game. He's kind of like, do I kind of do my own thing? Do I audible out of this play because I know it's not going to work? It's just like it's a big clusterfuck.
Yeah, and I think it would be foolishly optimistic for us to think that, like, they were just going to pick right back up where they left off. But at the same time, like, you're telling me that Shane Steichen is so exponentially better than Brian Johnson that this is the offshoot of that. Like, there's way too much talent. So I'm like, Joe, I agree. Like, the creativity in the play calling, like this week, give me something, right? Give me like a fucking reverse. Give me like
flea flicker.
Give me a flea flicker. Give me something that just says, like, you know what, we're going to try to keep you on edge, Right. What was it in? Was it the first week where they burned like the fake push tush like pass, like when they were up, like there was a game where they were up like by 2 touchdowns, and they burned that, and I'm like, well, that was fucking stupid. Like,
Yeah, why you run that now?
why are you doing
Do
that
that when you
there?
need it.
Like,
Yeah, do that when you need it.
like, right, but there were parts of this game that Jalen Hurts looked really good, and then there were parts that he looked real. Like that last interception
Was just egregious. Egregious.
The boss lady was none too happy because the volume of expletives that spewed out of my mouth was one for the record books. But it really was. She looked at me. She goes, "I know you love this team, but that was fucking too much. Sorry."
I turned the TV off and went upstairs.
He's scared. You're right. I did.
Boss lady ain't gonna play.
No, she wasn't playing. I scared the damn dogs. It's like, you know what? I just it's almost like he had programmed that, like, I'm gonna throw it here.
Telegraph.
And the interview, the post-game interview with the kid from the Jets that picked it off was like, yeah, the coach just said, like, fake the blitz, drop back, and it'll probably be right there. Dude, that was scary. That was scary because that was shades of like the Todd Bowles comments that came out after the Tampa playoff game. Like, I haven't seen Hurts play that bad since that Tampa playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's getting it out of the way, right? We can look at that.
Also true.
Hopefully.
Also, throwing the ball 47 times, you're going to make a few mistakes. I mean, no one's perfect. I just look at it. They need to bounce back. They need to come into this game saying that they're chicken. They do. They tiny little puppers.
Yeah,
they're tiny puppers.
They're little. Yeah, they're less than 10 pounds.
They need to come in. They need to come into this game with a fire on their ass, and they need to. Yeah, they need to realize that fuck, we got shit we need to play for. Like, yeah, you ain't got no marbles. Like, they need to take their ball and go home. Like, that's what they need to do. They need to be bullying them out there. And, Tyreek Hill's going to get his. You got to stuff the run game. You got to get to Tua. There's just shades of I'm scared against the Dolphins, but then there's shades of the Dolphins can exponentially be the Dolphins. They can be the team who throws up 70 and then loses by 30. Like, they are the same. They are an ebbs and flow. They got everything clicking. Boom, all cylinders. They're going to punch it in. I just need to know our offense isn't going to be stagnant. And if we're sticking to something, that it's going to fucking work. What is the game plan going in? Don't tell me, but I want to be able to see, like, off the jump, okay, this offense is clicking. Things are firing on all cylinders. Like, let's have an Eagles game where we can just dominate both sides like we should have been all fucking season, and let's go. Because the schedule's getting harder. The teams are getting better, but teams are also becoming, I would say more fluent in their offense and defense, and the Eagles look lost. Like, we haven't found our way or our identity yet.
With the way that this team is banged up, especially in the secondary, that's the shit that scares me the most, right? Because that is the that's the ultimate strength of the Dolphins, right? Because they're just going to throw speed after speed after speed at you. And Slay's going to be coming off an injury. Bradley Roby's questionable.
He's probably not playing.
He's probably not going to play. Josh Jobe, you just don't know what you're going to get. And James Bradbury, as good as he is, doesn't have the speed to keep up with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. That's why you got to press these guys. You got to fucking press them. You have to hit them right off the line.
And you got to dominate the line of scrimmage. You
can't bring in Josiah Scott.
You have to press them into mistakes because, he is one of the quicker quarterbacks to get the ball out quick. And, they do quick passing game, but then that sets up, the deep ball to Hill, to Tyreek Hill, or they'll do the bubble screens or do the the crossing pattern. So they've got to get hands in his face. They got to knock him down. They got to get his timing off, or it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, because listen, Raheem Mostert stepped right in. Is super productive. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. You've got weapons there that but Rich, like you said, they are really, really hit and miss, right? They can be the team that puts up 70 one week, and they can be the same team and get blown out depending on who they're playing. You just don't know what you're going to get. Good that this game's at home.
Yeah.
And you have a city that is really electric right now, kind of lining up with everything that's going on across the street with the Phillies. It's the Kelly Green. There's going to be a lot of nostalgia with the fan base. They're going to need all that extra energy in order to be able to really execute a game plan that's going to slow this offense down.
And that's what we need to do. We need to slow them. We need to bring them to a nice abrupt halt.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got to get our playmakers going, man. We got to get this shit rolling, because if not, it's going to get real tough, real quick. And this schedule does not let up. Adam, that is awesome. And Adam, you did ask.
Any extra tickets? Huh?
Yeah, you want to give?
I was just
I'm
about to pull it up.
Don, you asked Adam, what do you think of Julio Jones? Perfect move. You know why? Because if somebody were to get hurt, Britton Covey steps up and is your number 3 wide receiver.
Right.
We don't have any wide receivers.
It's a low risk. I mean, I don't know, wouldn't say high reward, but
it's a low risk,
they got him on the
medium
team.
reward.
The guy's the Hall of Fame player, low risk. He played with Brown last year. He played with Oz for a few years down at left, so they've got familiarity. And I mean, chances are he's going to be available every game. Quez has been in and out of the lineup, and he's been very inconsistent, going all the way back to the Super Bowl. So I'd rather put my faith in a guy like Julio Jones compared to a guy like Quez. And then Oz too. I mean, he had the touchdown against Tampa Bay. He's had a couple of catches here and there. But the guy's got 75 yards in 6 games. That's pretty much nothing.
Yeah,
well, and the wide receiver 3 is on the Eagles, the target share. They're getting 2 targets a game.
Right.
I just they're not schemed into it, and
he's gonna be the 4th option.
Yeah,
right. He's the
you just
fourth
need a guy who's
behind.
going to catch the 4th option.
And Rich, I could envision a scenario, right, like down near the goal line, where you put Julio on one side, you put AJ on the other side, you put Monte in the slot.
Yeah.
Goddard is lined up on the line. Like you put a lot of size, and you force teams to pick and choose who's going to guard who. And I think you go to the low man, right? You go if they're doubling one guy, right? Just like we said, like you spread those weapons out, but putting a guy with his size, he doesn't down near the goal line, doesn't necessarily need to be fast, doesn't need to be, he just needs to be that big body that's going to go up and get the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, anything else in terms? So Rich, real quick before we jump into a commercial, you were talking about the schedule, right? So this week they're playing Miami at home. Next week they've got a 1:00 game with Washington at Washington, which can always be funky down in Washington. The games are always weird. And then they're going to play Dallas at home.
How Sam Howell is still walking is beyond me.
Yeah, no idea.
I think he's gotten sacked like a record, like 32 times in 4 games.
That's crazy. That's nuts. but then you talk about coming out of the bye, right, at Kansas City, Buffalo at home, San Fran at home, at Dallas, at Seattle.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, you're the stretch of those tough games is going to start, and they're gonna really need to figure this shit out fast because that coming out of that week 10 bye, you're really gonna hit a stretch where there's no breathers on the schedule until you get to Christmas when you play the Giants. You're gonna play the Giants, Cardinals, and Giants. So, good thing that those 3 games are at the end of the schedule because if you need them, you're gonna have to pile them up late.
And with the way this fucking team's playing, they're gonna need them.
Yeah.
They are.
They're gonna need them.
They are. Anything else, Jeremy, you want to touch base on before we jump out here? Let's do a prediction. What do we got?
Prediction.
Got a score and a score and a key play. I can't put my fucking finger on this game, man.
I'm scared.
Get a dog, Joe.
I'm scared. I have 4.
I know. Go get one.
Let's go. 31-30. Eagles.
You gotta keep me up late, Joe. You gonna make me sweat?
I'm gonna be definitely taking extra blood pressure medicine that night. The big play of the game is gonna be DeAndre Swift. They're finally going to give the ball to DeAndre running and passing. I think he has well over 100 yards combined, 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Rich, what do you got?
That's what I got. I got 33-35 Eagles. Oof. And I think it comes on a last second. Well, no, then it'd be 33-34, right? Because they're not kicking the extra point. Yeah, I think it's going to be a 33-34, and I think it is going to be a Jalen Hurts scramble play to Devontae Smith from 12 yards out, and that is what's going to ice the game for the Birds. I hope. I hope it's a romping. I don't want it to end that way. I just don't. I can't call this game, man. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, this one was one that I've just kind of gone back and forth with. I can't really put a finger on it, but I'm hoping that this is a bounce back game. I'm hoping that this is not a pattern of things to come. But I'm looking at this and going, this is going to be like a dogfight. This is going to be back and forth. I feel like they're going to be with the weapons that the Dolphins have. You're going to be trading touchdowns with them. So I feel like as much as the run game is important. Adam going 45-43.
Pounding the over. Pounding the over.
Adam, pound the over. Good God.
Oh, definitely go over and go over on any fantasy, any betting. Go over. Everything's over.
I got you. Watch, Joe. It'll be like a 9-7 final.
Yeah, like this shit's fixed.
I really feel like the eyes are going to be on the offensive weapons. So I feel like you're going to get AJ Brown's going to continue this this streak of 100+ yard games, and I feel like we're going to get he's going to have 2 touchdowns. Going to kind of go back and forth. This is going to be like a late like a tied at 28 late in the 4th. Jake Elliott field goal to win the game. And then you turn around and the defense has to get a stop. And they get a stop.
Yeah.
Maybe a Hassan Reddick sack.
Yeah.
He seems to be, ever since this cast has come off, just really seemed to come up in the clutch.
That's all he needed. He's back.
So.
But yeah, it's going to come down to health too, guys. Like there's half of the lineup is either limited or out. So it's if Slay doesn't play, it's not a great feeling going into who starts over him.
What if Slay doesn't play?
Yeah,
me.
Do we even know? Do we even know?
Keely Ringo, Josiah Scott,
oh no,
Josh Job, Eli Ricks.
Yeah, Rick's on Waddle or Rick's on Hill.
Jesus Christ.
That's scary.
pass interference and holding penalties all
it'll
fucking
be like
game.
it'll be like Jack Hat on what was that, Cooper a couple years ago?
Oh God!
Remember that game?
Oh my God! I remember staying up late getting roasted for that one. Good God, that was bad.
Dude was falling down.
Was that Joe? Was that the one they turned into a meme where he just kept like the play would stop and he would just slide off the screen into like
'Cause he did
from
it.
like Paris to
He was
Egypt to.
He was down on his back.
Oh my God!
He got
So
beat
bad.
right off the line. Right off the line.
Oh God! Well, listen. On the back end of the commercial, I got an exciting fantasy update, and then we'll talk a little fantasy, little NFL. So
Yeah, buddy.
stick around. Let's go,
Bye, gentlemen.
Joe.
Bye, Joe.
Good
Love you,
talking.
bud.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go
Birds.
Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds.
Go Phils.
Go Phils.
See you guys.
Vonsey Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000 square foot microbrewery with a 2,500 square foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer gardens in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Vonsey family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Vonsey Brewing is located at 1210 Stenbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown team.
La Torrance curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to la-touraine.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.
Yo, Rich. You ready for our exciting announcement, brother?
What's our announcement?
I was texting with Coach Trav.
Yeah.
The week that the Eagles are on the bye, week 10.
Okay.
The guys from Losing Sucks are going to join us for our fantasy football mid-year special.
Fuck Coach Trav.
Talk to me.
Now, we just completed a
Yeah,
trade in our league, and it was fun. It was
What
fun.
do you got?
No,
What was the trade?
I traded him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Justice Hill because I really couldn't afford to give away anybody else. And I got back
Okay.
CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, and I think Marquise Brown. I think that's the other player that I got back.
I don't hate that.
No, I don't hate it either. You know, it leaves me with a little thin on running backs, Eckler and ETN. But, you know, both guys are doing well. You know, Eckler's healthy. And we'll see if Brandon Staley is not as dumb as we all think. But, it just comes to show week in and week out. The Chargers are fucking doomed. They will never, ever, ever win as long as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are still there because they are just incompetent on both sides of the ball.
Okay,
Their play calling
it's so bad.
I don't understand how
division-
the Chargers have all that talent and can suck.
and can like suck fabulously. Like they just week after week after week look like
Khalil Mack will have like 4 sacks. Bosa will have 2 sacks, and then they still fucking lose by 15. I'm like, how is this possible? I'm like, how is this possible?
what like it? But who
Did they all come on one drive?
I heard somebody talking about they were comparing Justin Herbert, and they're like, "It's Justin Herbert this era's David Carr."
No, he is not. He is.
Why not?
You know who he is? He is this era's Carson Palmer. That's who he is.
Okay.
He had
Tell me why.
Great stats, never won a playoff game.
Yeah. Okay.
Can throw the ball, has the weapons, has the talent on the offense. Coaching hindered him pretty much his whole career until he was injury ridden. And then he goes to the Cardinals. That's Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is going to put up all these great numbers. He's going to, and now we're talking to fantasy football wise, he's going to sustain multiple weapons in that offense every week, but they are not going to win a playoff game because they're not going to, they're not going to be able to get there, or B, they're going to fucking be up by, I don't know, maybe let's say 21, and then they fucking lose. Oh, wait, that happened last year.
Jesus Christ. It's just bad. It's just bad all around.
Yeah, it's not good. It doesn't look good. And from a fantasy standpoint, Justin Herbert, if you have another quarterback and you just want to sell high on the name, it's a redraft, a guy was looking, fuck it, kick the tires. And then you can roll with, I feel comfortable rolling with about 9 other quarterbacks. And if I have to stream and up a guy like Hal, or, say I have, I got lucky and I drafted Jared Goff and he's my backup, I have no problems throwing Jared Goff out there every single week and trading Justin Herbert to a team who needs a quarterback and trying to get something for it. I'm not a believer in Justin Herbert. I am not.
Okay.
Sorry, bro. Sorry,
No,
J Herb.
I'm
sorry, J Herb.
I don't think there's anything to be sad about on that one. That's just he is more, I feel like, a product of his environment.
Yeah.
I feel like he's never going to go anywhere because he just of the contracts, but I feel like it's probably more likely that they make a coaching change before they do anything.
And it'll be his 3rd coach in his young career.
Mm-hmm. Right. Which they brought in Kellen Moore as a guy that they thought might, reinvigorate that offense. And it looks worse. It looks worse than it did.
Yeah. It looks worse. And Justin Herbert looks more confused. He missed some wide open fucking throws on Monday, especially in the last drive, just missing Keenan Allen. And then not even looking and throwing a bad pick. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Keenan Allen's a guy that just catches everything.
Yeah. Just throw it in the vicinity of Keenan Allen. He'll catch it. I promise you. He'll catch it. Especially if he's playing against my team. Because I ran into some buzzsaws this week. Again, I scored over 130 points in a league and lost. And I am 0-6. I don't know what I have to do. Fantasy football is the weirdest thing in the world. But
it truly is.
It's the fun of it. It's why we do it. It's why we have fun. Don, do you have any fun things for this segment? Yeah, shut up, Adam. I didn't ask you. 6-0. Humble brag. Get out of here. Nice flex, Adam.
Thanks,
Who you
Adam.
playing
We
with?
really
Playing
appreciate
with? Who you playing with, Adam?
I-
3-year-olds?
it. Adam drafted every team but 2.
Yeah. Adam's like, don't worry. I traded them all to one team. It's balanced.
I love it. I love it. Anybody you avoiding this week? Any matchup? The matchups this week are not great.
Well, let's look. I got to look at the matchups through the league.
So Saints, Jaguars.
Saints, Jaguars. No, I'm going to let both teams ball out. I'll start who I have.
Okay.
And it's Thursday. I mean, I usually am against playing players on Thursday, but for some reason they're scoring points and main guys are being utilized. It's very weird. The Raiders and Bears, I'm pretty much staying away from. As much as I love DJ Moore, I have to. If Justin Fields ain't out there, I gotta fade him. I gotta fade Clement because that new guy their rookie looks terrible, and that run game is just bad right now. So I'm fading any Bears player. Colts and Browns is going to be tough. This is definitely a game where I say I am benching confidently Michael Pittman. I think you're going to see a lot of Gardner Minshew on his back. The Browns defense has been stellar. I mean, look what they did to Brock Purdy, the NFL's fucking golden child. Oh my God, he's been so good. They made him look like dog shit. So I can only imagine what they're going to do to Gardner Minshew. Bills, Patriots, you're not playing any Patriot. You're just not.
No, they're dog shit.
Fire up.
Lions, Ravens.
Lions, Ravens, I actually love. I think that's going to be I think they're going to hit the over on that one. I think there's going to be points scored in abundance. And it's if Gibbs plays, it could be a Gibbs breakout. It could be like, hey, why are you giving the ball a million times to David Montgomery? This guy's fucking electric. So let's see what happens. I love it. Amon-Ra, fire him up. Zay Flowers, fire him up. I mean, the Ravens backfield not really doing it. And if Jahmyr Gibbs can't go, fire up Craig Reynolds. Fire him up. Why not? Dude catches passes out of the backfield. He's going to have a role. Rams and Steelers. You're firing up the whole Rams offense. Steelers have a good defense. I'm most likely going to fire up Freiermuth if he's there, and I'm going to fade Pickens this week. Just because I think how bad that O-line is how good that D-line is for the Steelers. And they're going to have to get the ball out quick. I think it's going to be a Freiermuth. I think it's going to be a short game. Cardinals, Seahawks. Yeah, fire them up. Broncos, Packers. That's going to be fucking ugly. I'm starting everybody because both teams are bad. Chargers, Chiefs, shootout. Vikings, I am sitting Madison. I don't know, man. I'm probably fading my Vikings because San Fran lost. San Fran's going to be pissed, and the Vikings offensive line is atrocious. So I want to stay away from that as far as possible. And then you got your teams on a bye. You got the 0-6 Panthers. Oh, I feel bad. I so feel bad for Bryce. The Bengals, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Jets, and the Titans. It's a big bye week. A lot of players are going to be out.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen is a guy that you gotta. He's a start every week, but you gotta love the matchup against the Patriots.
You love that.
Mahomes is gonna probably light up the Chargers.
They just got Nicole Hardman back,
right? What do you? And I know you mentioned, but the Brock Purdy matchup against the Vikings. The Vikings are a hot trash juice. I feel like that's a guy that you want to play. And then the one I wanted to ask you about that you didn't mention, Jordan Love playing. Them getting matched up against the Broncos because the Broncos
are trying to fire sale everybody. And let's be real, there is nobody on that defense who wants to play.
No,
I think it's Packers by 10. And that's just because the defense is just packed it in. So, yeah, I'm firing up Christian Watson. I'm firing up Musgrave. I'm firing up Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon if they both play. And yeah, we see where we go from there. The Brock Purdy matchup. Brock Purdy is Jimmy G 2.0. And as much as fans of the 49ers don't want to agree with it, he is a get the ball out to his playmakers very quickly and let them make plays. You saw what happened when CMC was out. You saw what happened when Debo was out. Brandon Ayuk was still out there. George Kittle was still out there. He could not get the ball to these guys because that's not the football he plays. When he doesn't have a little swing pass that he can dump off, it's terrible. Would you keep running with Lamar Jackson or putting Brock Purdy? What the fuck am I ever playing Brock Purdy for? No, you're rolling. You're keeping Lamar Jackson. I understand Brock Purdy had some great games, but let's be real. Most of them were fucking 5-yard passes that got taken for 20 yards into a touchdown.
Right.
Like, he's not throwing the ball down the field. And that's what people don't realize. He's not airing the ball out. He is playing the same offense that Jimmy G did. It's just his playmakers are getting even fucking luckier because no one knows how to tackle.
Yeah. So, Rich, at running back, some guys to start. Jerome Ford they're playing at Indy, and then Brian Robinson playing at the Giants.
Brian Robinson at the Giants. If I had to pick, I'm going to start Jerome Ford if it was a toss-up between them both. I just made a trade in my one league for Brian Robinson because I needed running back help. The guy's got all the talent in the world. It's just that offensive line is trash. And they want Sam Howell to throw the ball. So they just want to get this fucking guy killed. But I do like I'm worried because Ford does have a role, but the emergence of Kareem Hunt last week put me on to, okay, this is definitely going to be 50-50. And I think they trust Kareem Hunt now that he's more acclimated back into the offense and he looks like he's up football speed. But there's going to be room. Definitely both flex plays. If you have better, opt out, but throw them in your flex. Fuck it. That's what the flex is for.
And listen, if you need an emergency QB start, you can throw in Temple Tough, PJ Walker.
If you need it, I mean, fuck it.
If you need it, what do you got to lose? If that's where you're at, you got nothing to lose.
That's where you're. Yeah.
All right,
Rich.
Where you're at wide receiver, I'm gonna give you two guys. I'm gonna give you Drake London at Tampa or Puka Nacua at Pittsburgh. Puka Nacua, the shares are kind of coming down now that Cooper Kupp's back.
Yeah, I mean, this was like worst case scenario, what you were afraid of. If I knew it was going to, I say give it a week and let's see what happens this week and see what Nacua does. But I'm going to ride with Nacua because Desmond Ritter's too inconsistent. And yeah, Drake London had a coming out game. He loves his tight ends, man. He loves Jonnu Smith. And he just they need to figure out ways to get Bijan Robinson more involved because what they're doing right now is not cutting it. You need to get the ball out of fucking Ritter's hand. Ritter should be running the same offense that the 49ers are running because he can't read a defense and he's fucking terrible when he has to make decisions. So yeah, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, that's you just mentioned one of the last two guys at tight end. So Jonnu Smith again at the Bucks, and then Michael Mayer at the Bears.
I mean, both hot pickups. You know they drafted Mayer high for a reason because he does have the skill set. He's getting more acclimated. I think he's now up to like 66% of the snaps with a route run, which is great numbers. But then you got Jonnu Smith, who's just third in the team target share, and he's just being fed. So Ritter loves him. That's who he's looking for. He runs the traditional tight end routes. I'm starting him this week, so you definitely want to play Myers because Logan Thomas, everybody's lock and start of the week tight end last week, started that motherfucker, and that was a nice 1.5 points.
Yeah, and listen, you're getting – You got to, at this point, you got to go with the guys that are being productive. You can't go with the names anymore. You got to figure out guys to sit, Rich. Here's my guys to sit. Kirk Cousins, I'm sitting Gus Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting Amari Cooper. I'm sitting Hunter Henry.
I am not sitting Amari Cooper.
Oh,
I think you saw last week that he has that big play potential. And he's one of those guys where I look at him and I go, every tough matchup, he flourishes. And it might be a 4 to 6 reception game, but you can count on him getting 110, 120 yards. He's not finding the end zone opportunities, but a guy who still can get you 16 points a game just off of 6 catches is a guy that I want to throw in my lineup. So
gotcha.
Keep me with
let's just swap. Let's just go to the other team. We'll sit Michael Pittman, right? Because
that's what I'm doing.
Right.
Because Michael Pittman, most of his points last week came in garbage time, so there's always that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I just have that's a guy I'm staying away from this week, unless you have no better option. And that's the hard part. If it's Michael Pittman or some number 3 or number 4 from another team, no name guy that you're just like, oh, the matchup's great, I'm going Pittman. You might not have any better option. Right. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's on a bye this week. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, a bunch of guys. Adam Thielen, who's been killing it. You might not have a better option. You're going to have to start one of these guys. Tough matchups or not, bye weeks are hell. And this is where you can either lose one or sneak one. So get your wins where you can.
Sounds good. Any other fantasy advice, Rich, before we jump into final thoughts?
Just go with your gut and have fun. Look at the waiver wire. Today is an important day because look at who has been dropped. Guys who are on buys might have been dropped. So look and see who was dropped. Put in your waiver claims again for them. And Callie J.
I like it.
Okay. Go, Cal.
I like it.
Come on.
Final thoughts. Man. Listen, all the final thoughts with me are on at Broad and Pattison.
Hell yeah.
The energy and the electricity that's down at that stadium. And the thing that I can't wrap my head around, Rich, when are the teams of these guys that are coming in to play in here going to learn a fucking lesson about talking shit about
Don, they like poking the bear.
They like poking the bear, but Rich, this is now the 3rd time in this playoff stretch where somebody decided they were going to talk shit. And it
what
literally
do I always say, Don? What do I always say? You
they
fucked
stuck
around.
They fucked around and they found out.
They found out.
But this time they fucked around with a PH.
Yeah. And that was they were not ready for it.
I love where this fan base is. I love the fact that what you had talked about, pre-show, the amount of people investigating the tickets out in Arizona based on the fact that the ticket prices are at this point, by the time the game starts, are going to be in the single digits. It's just a really good time to be a part of this fan base. And the thing that I love, which I'm trying to get to, I'm taking the long and windy road, but like seeing the other teams, the way that the other teams are joining in, and the way that the Flyers have their opening night. Every dude that I saw walking in the building was all wearing some kind of Philly stuff.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid and Maxey are there with the Harper jerseys.
Yeah.
Kelsey's in the box with his brother chugging beers. Fletcher Cox is singing "Dancing on My Own," getting champagne poured on him in the locker room. Like the way that all those teams are all coming together and supporting one another, right? You really feel that communal support, which is just a really cool place to see. Did you catch the clip of it was Terrell Edmonds and DeAndre Swift right behind they were sitting like front row right behind home plate, and they're reacting to the Schwarber home run, and then the next time he comes up, they call Terrell Edmonds calls it, and then it literally happens on the next pitch. Like
that's awesome.
It's just a it's just a really cool thing to see. It's cool to see them all come together and really just support one another. And just I'm just here for it all. It's just a good time to be in the fields of Philadelphia.
Nah, hell yeah. I mean, 2 more wins, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
2 more.
It just shows you how much this team loves winning. And, I wouldn't say desperate, but like is longing for that second win. Teams are just, the Eagles guys, Phillies guys going to Sixers games, and like you see the camaraderie between the teams in the city because they know, like, when you're here and you're an athlete in the city, you embody it. Like you live that desire of this is why athletes can either make it or can't make it in Philly. Because if you don't take over that Philly mindset and you don't adapt and you don't live with it, you'll never survive it. And a lot of athletes don't have that because, like Trey Turner, we booed the fuck out of Trey Turner. But we also
You're back,
Hello?
Rich.
Are we back?
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Stop clicking buttons back there, Don. Jesus.
Christ.
I was on a roll. We booed Trey Turner, Don. That's where I was at. We booed Trey Turner.
Yeah.
But then look what we
That's all
did.
right, Rich. Pick it up. I'll edit it all out. It's okay.
Don't edit it. Keep it good.
It never happened.
It never happened. So we booed Trey Turner, right? But then, we gave him that standing O, and then look, he responds. We don't hate our players, but we expect a certain level out of them, especially the guys who are paid more. But this city is coming together, and the camaraderie, you love it. But my final thoughts. Don, have you watched The Fall of House Usher on Netflix?
No.
It is awesome. If you were, like me, a fan of Edgar Allan Poe and like gothic horror, like you will like this show. A lot of jump scares
right now.
A lot of jump scares. It gets gory. But man, the story it's fun. It's a fun ride. This series. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And Halloween spooky season. It's got a great cast. The cast is mainly from like all the other Netflix shows, but same writers and stuff as The Haunting of Hill House and Fly Manor. And then there was another one. But yeah, if you like horror and you like kind of like spiritual, mythical stuff, like you'll like this. It was fun. It was a good time.
Right.
And if you like Edgar Allan Poe, because every single episode is an Edgar Allan Poe poem. So the whole thing is based off Edgar Allan.
Okay.
So, yep, there's the Peg and the Pendulum, the Raven, Telltale Heart, Annabelle Lee. Like, there's a bunch. Like, everyone.
Okay.
And all the titles are Edgar Allan Poe, too. So, it's awesome.
I like it. I'm going to have to give
It's
it a go.
gothic. It's gothic horror. Why not? But, guys,
I love it.
you did. You stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. I'm Rich, and that's Don. And Joe was here also. And we're drunk on broad. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck Spike Eskin. Fuck Deshaun Watson. I still fucking hate that guy. And who else? Davion Taylor. You can go fuck yourself. Yep. Oh, and Ben Simmons. Mr. Look at me. I got a jump shot now. Fuck you. Where you been? Ooh. We're drunk on broad. Have a great night. We love you, Philly. Adam, thanks for tuning in, brother. Chris, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Go Phils.
Go Birds. Go Phils. Go Bird Phils.
Hey, listen to this guy. Tell me how you're feeling here. You're screaming.
I am stoked, baby.
You're screaming like it's still the game going on.
We're talking about the fightings here. The fightings. Said.
Should.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.